Gang, what's up? Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. That you just saw right there, that's an F-35. They're super fast. Zoom. We've got National Defense Minister here, David McGuinty, who does not look well, but maybe he has some good news, some raises for our armed forces. That would be good. We're also going to check out the forest bans in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Pretty chaotic, I think. Like, it's hot and it is dry here in Nova Scotia, but $25,000 fine for going in the woods? I don't know, seems pretty dystopian. And then we're going to wrap it up with a quick video about how much jet fuel Mark Carney is burning. Oh my goodness, wait until you see this piece. It's crazy. Anyways, let's kick things off with Minister of National Defense, David McGuinty, who does not look well. Like, look back at photos. He's not aging well at all. Let's take a peek.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
The review is in the hands right now of officials in the department, both the Canadian Armed Forces and the Department of National Defence, and they are, as operational experts, assessing, and they'll have more to say about it when the review is made obviously public.
Gotcha. And I guess just switching the topic, is there any update on how the armed forces are going to be assisting in the wildfire responses?
Listen, it's just incredible to see what the Canadian Armed Forces have been doing. We've got hundreds of wildfires right now across the country. The Canadian Armed Forces have been deployed right now to Newfoundland, to Saskatchewan, Manitoba, yet again to Manitoba. They've been airlifting thousands, I believe it's 6,000 to 7,000 Canadians out of harm's way. It's an incredible testimony of their resilience, their service, putting themselves in harm's way for the benefit of Canadians. So we respond to requests for assistance from the provinces. We have supported each and every one of those requests for assistance, and the Canadian Armed Forces have, without hesitation, stepped up again and again and again to provide assistance to Canadians. I think it's a marvel to behold, and I think all Canadians owe them a great debt of gratitude.
Minister, if I could, what brings you to the base today?
It's a wonderful opportunity for me to meet with members of the forces, the leadership of the base, learn more about the actual goings-on here at Borden, its focus and priorities, but also to be able to share our wonderful news around compensation and pay that was released last Friday in great detail, to explain to them what we're trying to do, why we're trying to do it. Frankly, a pay increase of the kind that we announced Friday is long overdue. This has been happening now for quite a while in terms of the demand for it. We decided that we would get this done in the first 100 days of government. We did. And I think it's being generally very positively received. We're hopeful that this will lead to better recruitment, better retention. And so we're moving forward.
I was just going to ask you, the soldiers must have been happy to hear when you met with them today.
They are. I think they're grateful. I think it's also important for all Canadians to know that we need to take care of our members of the armed forces. We need to pay them appropriately. We need to make sure that they have the supports that they need, that their families have the support that they need, and which is exactly what we're working on together as a government, to be able to make sure that we rearm them, we reinvigorate them, we keep them moving forward. It helps, like I said, with our recruitment and retention, and that's why there are salary increases, for example, pay increases for those coming into the armed forces and those who have been here for some time. We need people to stay on both ends of the spectrum.
Does this have to do with NATO and the increases that we're seeing here that we want to increase?
Well, look, we committed to increasing our expenditures to 2% of GDP a full 5 years ahead of schedule by March 31st next year. This is part and parcel of reinvesting in our Canadian Armed Forces, making sure that we have a dynamic, a resilient, and a lethal armed forces. That involves obviously making sure that people can live and live well in Canadian society. Cost of living has gone up. Our folks in the Canadian Armed Forces have not had a serious pay increase in decades. In fact, this is the largest single generational investment that we've seen in compensation, and we're very proud of it. We hope it helps.
I just had one more question. So sorry, just going back to the F-35 report, like given that there has been a very preference of the F-35 among the RCAF, what do you think the answer would be for that?
I think what we should do is wait, as the Prime Minister suggested, until we see the actual review. When the review is completed, we can take our lead from the experts that performed the review, both in the Department of National Defence and the Canadian Armed Forces. Obviously, they're going to, it would be strange if they didn't look at the operational needs going forward, and I'm sure they'll have a lot more to say about that. So I very much look forward to seeing it and receiving it in due course.
Any other question? What are you doing now? Are you all done in Barrie area?
We are actually heading off for a week-long tour across a number of bases, including in Winnipeg, Cold Lake, Edmonton, to get a better handle on what's going on in each one of those bases, what their needs are, how well they're doing. Obviously to share the news as well around compensation and benefits, making sure that we're helping with recruiting and retaining the instructors that we need, the specialists that we need, making sure that folks understand that we're with them, that the people of Canada are with our Canadian Armed Forces in a way that is, I think, very positive, and we reflect that in our priority for defence going forward. So we're hopeful that sharing this good news around the country will help to build morale, will help to drive our Canadian Armed Forces forward and make the improvements that we think the Canadian Armed Forces members deserve.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
It's a clear warning throughout Cape Breton Highlands National Park. Closed. Trails off limits. Tourists have arrived this week to these messages. Activities are banned in wooded areas in an effort to reduce wildfire activity, limiting where visitors can go in the park.
We were really looking forward to doing some hiking, especially my husband.
Yes.
And wanted to do the Skyline Trail and Acadia, and today was kind of the day to do it because it's gorgeous out.
It's put a little bit of a damper on it, but we completely understand with the dry weather that you guys are having here, so it makes sense to us. It's still a scenic, it's beautiful. It's very scenic still, so that's good.
Yes, and protect the forest, because people can make mistakes, have a cigarette, so we want to be safe.
I personally think it's not really a good idea because, it's just preventing people from hiking over here. We came here, we drove an hour and a half just to come see this, and now we can't.
Front country camping is still permitted by Parks Canada, and tents are set up in the day use area outside the park's information center. Businesses have been affected by the ban as well. Live Life in Tents had to cancel multi-day hiking trips due to the woods ban.
People that plan their trip to come here are canceling campsites, cabin rentals, and if they're canceling cabin rentals, that means they're canceling all the river activities that we offer as well, even though those are still fully open.
Fraser wants to see an actionable plan from the provincial government, so businesses like his are not affected by the ban. In the meantime, those visiting the park are making the best of a very dry situation.
It's a shame that it's closed, but we certainly understand why. And, the Cabot Trail and the park are just so beautiful just to drive through and do the scenic overviews that, I can't complain too much, really. It's still going to be a fantastic day here in the park.
Anna Rack, CBC News, Petite Tang.
Oh, yeah. All right, gang, we're going to check something out. We just got an update here on the situation in Newfoundland, the wildfire there that's out of control. Let's check this out. And then we're going to get to this piece about how much jet fuel Mark Carney burns. It's ridiculous. But let's check out the situation in Newfoundland first.
Good to see you, Mark, on all of this. Big concern as the fire grows in size. Tell us the status this hour and what it's meant for alerts in the area.
Yes, so the fire, apparently the fire didn't grow a whole lot overnight, which is good news. Like you said, it really exploded yesterday. I was actually driving down the highway and saw some smoke early in the day. We called it into the newsroom. By the time I was coming back, there were flames that were 3 stories high and smoke billowing into the air. So, at that point, we could see water bombers hanging already. Yesterday, that fire grew to about 200 hectares. They said overnight it didn't grow much more, but we can see it behind us here. I don't know if you can see that smoke behind us here. We're at Farrell's excavation, and the smoke and fire is still going, and we're seeing water bombs hitting it, and when they hit it, the flames flare up again. So it's still a very active fire. It's out of control, and as you said, in this area there are evacuation alerts. People aren't being told to evacuate yet, but they're being told to get go bags ready, take photographs of everything you own in case you need to claim insurance sometime. but everyone's getting ready, and there's a lot of tension here. Now, the area we're in right now isn't under an evacuation alert, and people are still working here, but we're not too far from the area that is under evacuation alert. So this is a very concerning area, and we spoke, CBC spoke with Mark Lawler. He's the provincial fire duty officer, and he gave us some comments about what he knows so far.
The primary concern is to try to ensure that it doesn't reach the CBS highway and cross over. So we're going to be we're trying to work that fire literally into Paddy's Pond if we can. We're going to try to work the northern flank to turn the fire as best we can, and that's the goal.
Yes, so of course he's talking about the highway on the other side of us. We're near the Trans-Canada Highway, and it is closed here. Like from where we are beyond to a section further down the highway, Foxtrap line, it is closed. So that's a concern. They don't know how long it's going to be closed. Of course, we don't know where this fire is going. It's out of control. It's been a worrisome day, and there'll be more worry throughout this day, unfortunately.
And not just where you are, Mark, unfortunately. Other fires burning throughout the province. Just give us an overview of what else is happening.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, there's been a big fire called the Kingston Fire, which is on the Conception Bay north side of Conception Bay. That's about an hour and a half, 2 hours drive from here. That's caused the evacuation of many communities along that coast, and the fire is heading towards other communities, they fear. Ochre Pit Cove, which is the community on the northern part of that section, has been evacuated, and there are evacuation alerts up in that area as well. That fire has sadly caused some structure damage. It's unclear how much structure damage there is, but they have confirmed, the firefighters have confirmed that there are some structures that are gone, less than a dozen that they're confirming, but it's hard to say how many. Also in Labrador, there are of course 2 other fires that are out of control. So there are 5 fires out of control in Newfoundland, Labrador, and this one behind me here is the latest one, and they're trying to keep it from growing too much more than 200 hectares.
Mark, really appreciate the reporting from you as always. Thank you very much. Mark Quinn, you call it the Paddy's Pond fire, right? Because we've been calling it Thomas Pond. Where do you fall? You're on Paddy's Pond?
Yes, that's right. I mean, people know where Paddy's Pond is. They probably don't know where Thomas Pond is. So that gives people a good idea of where it is. And that's what we started calling it originally, because that's where we thought it had started, and that's where the evacuation order first came. So we've been calling it that, but I understand there is talk about changing the name because it may have started near Thomas Pond. But right now, to avoid confusion, I thought it'd be best to call it Paddy's Pond.
I think that's a good idea. I just want to make sure everyone knows where the danger area is. So this is the fire that's caused these evacuation alerts, Conception Bay South and Paradise. And Mark Quinn, I thank you very much.
All right, guys, we've got one more piece to come. That's coming up. How much jet fuel this guy, Mark Carney, burns. I mean, the globalist agenda and the gall of this guy, like climate change activist, give me a break. How much jet fuel do you burn? How much jet fuel do you waste? Oh, Lord, it's a lot. My name's Aaron, Canadian Looney. We're going to show this video. Thank you for watching. That's it. We'll catch you in the next one.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.